Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Thursday, April 16th. Ian Cameron with you. Solo show today. Alex, unfortunately, had to make a trip back to the ER. Nothing major, but still dealing with the foot. But he plans to be back tomorrow with us. And tomorrow, of course, is our playoff preview show. We can't wait for that. We're going to break down every first-round series, Western Conference, Eastern Conference. We're going to talk series winners, length of the series. We're going to talk about a lot of the series-long player props that are out there. I've already taken a long look at a bunch of them for the series that have already been confirmed, and there's a handful of bets I do like in that market. So looking forward to that tomorrow on the Friday show. It's going to be a fun show. It'll be me. Alex should be back tomorrow. We're going to have David from down in Raleigh, North Carolina. I know he's getting all excited and pumped up for the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Ottawa Senators. We now know that is going to be the first series to start on Saturday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And we also are going to have Patrick Murray, former guest of the show previously down in Nashville, who's actually a Western New York guy, big Sabres fan, but currently living in Nashville. He's been on the show before, Patrick Murray. He'll be joining us tomorrow. Jason Demers is on the radar, but no guarantees. He's going to try to pop in during the show, but like I said, busy man, of course, with everything he's doing at NHL Network. But looking forward to tomorrow. That is going to be a fun show, previewing every first-round series from a betting perspective. So we're excited about that on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, the show will roll on as you know it and as you love it throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs at the usual times, noon Eastern on the weekends, 2 p.m. Eastern on weekdays to preview the games as we always do. So, like I said, looking forward to the playoffs starting on Saturday, and the playoff preview show tomorrow will be a lot of fun. All right, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the recap here. A lot of these games were meaningless last night, other than to say that, we had the overs in Buffalo, so it was good to see Dallas get a 4-3 win there in a shootout over the Buffalo Sabres last night. One thing I do want to mention is that Maverick Bourque's been just on fire for them down the stretch, and I kind of think he could be their Wyatt Johnston this year. Remember Wyatt Johnston had that breakout, run in the playoffs. I think it was a couple of seasons ago when he really made his presence known and I'm in the NHL now and I'm going to be an impact player here in the NHL. I'm starting to think that could be Maverick Bourque this season in this playoff run for the Dallas Stars. Don't be surprised if he puts together a really good Stanley Cup playoffs here for this team. He is playing well at the right time, scored again obviously last night against Buffalo in that 4-3 win. Just a complete and utter disgrace from the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, they had already disgraced themselves. Why stop now, boys? I mean, keep it on. Keep piling on. Keep it coming with the embarrassment. And they certainly did last night. 8-1 against the Florida Panthers. That's a Florida team that still had a bunch of players out, and Florida just lays absolute waste to the Dead Wings, known as Detroit. 8-1. It was a beatdown from the beginning, and we cashed a bargain bin special. Who says we can't win a bargain bin when it's exhibition hockey? And let's be honest, that's what a lot of the games were last night. Had that exhibition hockey kind of feel to it. But Cole Reinhardt at plus 660 cashes a bargain bin special for me in that game as Florida. And that was a great call for me. I said, you got to bet Florida here as a home dog. I mean, we were wondering if Florida was incentivized. Clearly they were, and it was just kind of insane to look back on it. That Detroit was a minus 160 road favorite in that game. We were certainly able to take advantage, and 8-1 for Florida over Detroit. And we took advantage of this live underdog, the New York Rangers, who took care of the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-2. I got in for a little bit with the Rangers here at plus money. Said the Lightning really don't care too much about this game. Why should they? They've already clinched second in the Atlantic. They're going to have home ice against Montreal. We knew that already. That game was a throwaway game for the Lightning. And then it was crystallized that it was a throwaway game for the Lightning when John Cooper at the last minute decides to start Brandon Halverson in net last night for them. Not that it was his fault that they lost, but it was just a team that just said, hey, let's get this game over with, get game 82 out of the way, try to avoid injuries, and let's get the real stuff going. And the Rangers just, had a little more care in their minds to win that hockey game last night. So nice job by the Rangers. I know my only regret is I should have went with one of those dogs as best bet, because our best bet, which was Ottawa team total over, fell just short. But minor quibbles there. But nice to have the Panthers and the Rangers, two nice plus price dogs. Both of them cashing in last night. The aforementioned Ottawa team total, it did fall short. They only got to 3, but they did beat Toronto 3-1 last night. I actually thought Hildeby played pretty well. 38 shots, and it could have been worse as usual in a Toronto game if not for him. But the Ottawa gets a 3-1 win, even with several of their better players missing. Stützle was not playing last night. Brady Tkachuk, Shabbat, Sanderson, they all sat last night for the Ottawa Senators, a game that was meaningless to them for the most part, because they knew they were already going to play Carolina in the first round. But definitely looking forward to it as far as it goes. We addressed Matt Robinson, Cole, yesterday. I'm not going to add to it, but if you want to hear what's going on with Matt, why he's not on the show, at least for now, tune in to the other day. I think, when did I address? Tuesday I addressed it. So it's all there as to why. All right, as far as the other games, the late night hours, we had Chicago 5-2 against San Jose. Kind of like Chicago in that game. We did have the fun. This really could have been a good game if there was more goals in the first period, because I did get in on Chicago in the full game over, which cashed. But I had a good chunk of it on that first period, both teams to score, and that was frustrating to only see the one San Jose goal in the opening period. But we still ended up winning a few bets in that game, including Alex B. Smith, who comes through with Nick Lardis late in the third period, his bargain bin special cashing in. So 2 bargain bin specials, even though it was pretty much an exhibition kind of night last night for the NHL. So 5-2 Chicago. They get the win, and nice to see the Blackhawks actually in the third period show, hey, we haven't played well down the stretch. It's really been a rough homestand to finish the season. Let's at least try to go out with a win, and they did just that. And the Vegas Golden Knights clinch first in the Pacific Division, another Pacific Division title for the Golden Knights. Started a little sluggishly, fell down 1-0, but 4 unanswered goals after that to get past Seattle 4-1. And the Vegas Golden Knights clinch the Pacific and seal a first-round series matchup against the Utah Mammoth, the first wildcard team. So we've got Utah and Vegas head-to-head in the first round. That should be an interesting series. Now, again, for Utah, they're going to be going up against a Vegas team that's obviously been riding this significant wave and roll and momentum that they've been on since John Tortorella took over as head coach. It was another solid game last night for Carter Hart, who is unequivocally now going to be the starting goaltender for the Golden Knights in game 1 of that series against Utah. So that'll be an interesting one. But Utah and Vegas confirmed for the first round, with Vegas clinching the Pacific Division last night. All right, let's turn our attention to the Thursday card. We've got 6 games to wrap up the regular season on this regular season finale night. St. Louis and Utah is where we will begin. St. Louis -130 road favorites. 6 the total here, shaded to the over in this game. I jumped on St. Louis a little earlier. The price has moved a little bit. The price when I took it was -115 on St. Louis when I took it. It's moved up about 15 to 20 cents toward the Blues since then, but it makes perfect sense. Utah now knows they're playing Vegas. I think they had that step-up game against the Winnipeg Jets the other night, to make sure they clinched the first wild card spot. When you look at the lineup situations tonight, I think there's a decent chance you're going to see some Utah. Now, we don't know yet, but I think there's a decent chance you're going to see some people sitting for Utah. And we have seen the St. Louis Blues play well down the stretch. They continue to try to win hockey games. So I got in a little bit on St. Louis here. I'm going to be on the over by Fecta for sure. The Utah first period overs are still, I think, 13-2, 14-2 run for those. They've been a good full game over team, as well in the last 9 or 10 games. And even though the first period over didn't hit against Winnipeg the other night, the full game over still did. So I like over by Fecta, and I'm on the Blues here on the money line as well. As far as goal props for this one tonight, milestones are important to note. Obviously, this is game 82 now for everybody. So if there's players that need one goal from 20 or 30 or 40, or 1 point away or 2 points away from a significant milestone, looking toward their player props tonight, certainly in theory, conceptually, makes sense. Jimmy Snuggerud's been on a tear, 3 straight games with a goal. Pavel Buchnevich, 2 straight games with a goal for the St. Louis Blues as well. So he suddenly started to pick things up. Holloway, a point shy of 50, says Addison. Yeah, of course, no doubt. Looking toward a Dylan Holloway point prop. Now, got to lay $1.55 or so is what we're looking at with Dylan Holloway point prop, but might be a juice worth laying, considering, he's going to want to get that 50 point plateau. There's no question. So Buchnevich, though, I really like. It's one of my favorite goal props on the board, not only because of the 2 consecutive games with a goal. He's been shooting the puck a lot, but he is trying to get to 20 goals on the season. So Buchnevich is probably my favorite St. Louis look there as far as goal props, but there's some really good options there with it, especially for the Blues. Like the Utah lineup, we'll have to see because I think it'll be announced later, but definitely some good options on the St. Louis side when it comes to goal props. And as for goaltending, we have Hofer and Vanacek as the projected goalies, neither confirmed as of yet. All right, San Jose, Winnipeg. We've got Winnipeg minus 150 home favorite, 6.5 the total. It is going to be Eric Comrie again. Not that shocked. I mean, shutting down Connor Hellebuck for the season. I mean, he doesn't need to be playing. The worst case scenario is he starts a meaningless game like this to end the season with nothing on the line, nothing on the table. He gets hurt significantly, and he's out for several months, and he's not ready to start training camp. That's the last thing you need if you're the Winnipeg Jets, considering how important Connor Hellebuck is to this team. But I think when you look at this one, this is a pass for me. I mean, I'm not laying minus 150 with Winnipeg. I know it's their home finale, and there's that, handicapping 101 that when it's the last regular season home game for a team out of the playoffs, they show up. They want to send the home team fans home happy for the final time, like Chicago did, for instance, last night against San Jose. But Chicago's different. Chicago really didn't have much playoff aspirations before the season started. Winnipeg did. This has been a big, fat disappointment of a season. So I'm not sure it's as strong a rally the troops, spot here for the Winnipeg Jets, like I said. And certainly not at minus 150. I don't want San Jose either, though. Road back-to-back now that they've been eliminated. So it's a pretty easy pass here from a side perspective. Couple props, though. There are some props that pique my interest. Kiefer Sherwood, Kyle Connor. It's very important. I think Kyle Connor's looking for a milestone as well. He's trying to get to 40, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there you go. As Jonathan says, 40 goals. And Jonathan Taves in his final game, just for, sentimentality, maybe you bet him to score a goal tonight. But the main one's Kyle Connor. He's trying to get to 40 goals. Probably does matter to him. He did score the other night against Utah. That's probably the best bet in this game is just Kyle Connor goal, quite honestly. I mean, the price isn't great, plus 145 because it's Kyle Connor, but at the same point in time, he's going to be gunning for 40 goals. So it's not a bad option. Anaheim, Nashville. We've got Anaheim minus 130 road favorites, 6.5 the total. By the way, that game I lean over. Might sprinkle on the 6.5 over. I mean, it is Comrie. It's Nedeljkovic. It went over for San Jose last night. Winnipeg's been flying over the total the last few games. No defense. No intensity defensively either for the Jets. So I could make a case for over 6.5 there with San Jose, Winnipeg. As far as Anaheim, Nashville, we've got Anaheim minus 130 road favorites, 6.5 the total. Now there is something on the line here, but there's not. It's all about seeding now. Anaheim, Edmonton, Los Angeles. They're going to sort this thing out at the moment. We've got Edmonton just needing 1 point to clinch second in the Pacific and get home ice advantage in the first round. Keep in mind, LA and Anaheim, they enter the night tied with 90 points. Anaheim has the tiebreaker for regulation wins. So if LA is going to finish ahead of Anaheim, they're going to have to finish 1 point ahead of them. If they end up tied at the end of the night, it'll go to Anaheim via the tiebreaker. Anaheim's had so many chances here to win a division and at least win home ice, and they've just sputtered so incredibly poorly down the stretch. 1-8 in their last 9 games. The only victory was a 6-1 win against San Jose when they were floundering at the time and falling out of the playoff race. You thought that maybe could get the train back on the tracks here for Anaheim, and then they turned around. They lost at home in overtime to Vancouver, and then they lose 3-2 on the road against a Minnesota team that was resting several of their best players. So, yeah, I don't trust Anaheim at the moment. Even though this game should matter significantly more to them than the Nashville Predators, their form does not warrant minus 130. At this point in time, do I want to bet Nashville? Nah, not when Anaheim's still got something on the table here in this game. And keep in mind too, Nashville went to Anaheim and smoked them 9 days ago, 5-0 at the Honda Center. 5-0 Predators in that game. It was that game where Onanen was in net, and he had that 43 save shutout for the Nashville Predators. I don't know if it's going to be Onanen tonight. I'm seeing Saros projected to start, Dostal for Anaheim. We'll see about that, but I think it's set up well for Anaheim, but they're not playing well enough, and I'm not interested in laying a price in this on the road with them at the moment. It's really that simple. As far as goal props, Eric Howla, former Eric Howla, has been chipping in lately. Three of the last 10, 2 of the last 5. Cutter Gauthier never a bad option. Mason McTavish scored last game for the Anaheim Ducks. I think Jonathan just posted in the chat too that he's had some very solid performance. He's had good success against Saros in the past as well, and we're expecting him in net. So that's something to keep in mind. Luke Evangelista for the Nashville Predators. He might be someone to look at as far as a goal prop. Remember, he's with Stamkos and O'Reilly on the top line, so he's getting that opportunity right now. He did score last game, so this could be a Luke Evangelista night as well for Nashville as far as a goal prop here tonight on that side of things. I think one more I'm considering too, just because this is a guy that played in Nashville for a good handful of years. I would say parts of 4 seasons, maybe even 5 with Nashville. Mikael Granlund. I'm going to go back to the well with him now. He's been kind of slumping lately, but I think Mikael Granlund could be worth a look here. And as Jonathan says, Troy Terry's had success against Nashville as well. So it's more of a goal prop game here for me with Anaheim and Nashville. This is a game where if it hits 5.5 in game, I'll jump on the over, but not until then. All right, Vancouver, Edmonton. We've got Edmonton minus 320, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this one. Well, we've talked about for a very long time now how good Vancouver's been getting on the board in the first period. We cashed another one of those in their upset win against Los Angeles in their last game. They've been very good at finding the back of the net early in games. They did it against LA. They did it against Anaheim. I believe they did it against San Jose. No, they didn't against San Jose, but then they did it before that. I think it's 8 of the last 10. Or 7 of the last 9, something along those lines where we're talking about Vancouver scoring a goal in the first period. Not to mention, it's also a Edmonton minus 320 price here, which means the system is indeed triggered and in play, which is the minus 300 or greater favorite. Take the dog to score in the first period, and that's exactly what we're going to do here in this. And Vancouver goal in the first period, you're going to get that at a very reasonable price at FanDuel. Now, look, and this is for Edmonton, it's get a point and clinch home ice advantage in the first round. That's all that's required. But I think Vancouver's relished playing spoiler here down the stretch. Let's give this team credit. They've won 3 in a row. They beat San Jose in the tank. They beat Anaheim on Sunday on a back-to-back, and then they beat LA in overtime 4-3. They rallied from behind to win that game, too. They were down 3-2 at one point in that game. Came back, tied it, and then DeBrusk won it in overtime. So Vancouver's going out with a little bit of feistiness to them, wanting to finish the season well, wanting to play spoiler. And a big part of that has been them being able to score early in these games. So we're definitely liking the first period goal for Vancouver. It's been very strong. 9 of the last 12 officially as far as Vancouver. It's only minus 118. At FanDuel as well. It's a really good price. We'll go with that. We'll go with first period over. We'll go with both teams to score in the first period because I do think there's a very good chance Edmonton still finds the back of the net here in the early going against still a very shaky suspect Vancouver defense, that's for sure. I think we're going to see, as far as the goaltenders tonight in this game, we did see Lankinen in the last game, but and it is going to be Kevin Lankinen again here for Vancouver. No surprise that it's Connor Ingram once again here for Edmonton. Pretty sure now that he's going to be the game one starter in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Oilers as well. No change as well. Actually, no, Zach Hyman is back. Significant development for the Edmonton Oilers. Zach Hyman returning for this regular season finale with a chance to clinch home ice in the first round. Still no Draisaitl, still no Jason Dickinson, but certainly nice for if you're an Oilers fan to see Zach Hyman back in the lineup here tonight. So I like a lot of those first period looks, first period goal, first period both teams to score, first period over. Draw makes sense too. Jonathan's on it. Yeah, it does. This is a perfect example of why the draw makes sense. Now, last night, obviously we didn't see overtime, but I still had the reasoning behind Vegas-Seattle draw being that Vegas only needed a point. Same thing here. Edmonton only needs a point to be second in the Pacific and get home ice in the first round. So if this game happens to be close, if it happens to be tied late in the third period, well, guess what? It's going to be secure the point, don't make any mistakes, get this game at least to overtime, and make sure we get home ice clinched. Not to mention Vancouver's on a little draw surge here to finish the season. Vancouver, 3 straight games have gone past regulation entering tonight. So this is definitely the one draw that I like on the entire board tonight. Actually, no. Next game, I like the draw too, which we'll get to. But this one, I like the draw, Vancouver, Edmonton. So those are the main ones. You know, I don't hate the 6.5 over, but I'm going to see if I can get a little something better in game with that. And then as far as goal props here with Vancouver and Edmonton tonight, Jake DeBrusk, 3 straight games with a goal. If you want to ride the hot hand, there you go. He's been very solid, no question about it. When you look at who's been in good form, I would say Rossi could be worth a look here for the Canucks as well. For Edmonton, you know, we've just basically been talking about who's been with McDavid. That's who you want to target. Savoy looks like is going to remain positioned alongside Connor McDavid. Savoy, McDavid, and Hyman looks to be the top line tonight for Edmonton. So Matt Savoy, there's some value. Podkolzin and Roslovic is probably worth a look as well, as they're flanking Ryan Nugent-Hopkins right now on the second line for the Edmonton Oilers. So those are some of the props I'd be targeting here with Vancouver and Edmonton tonight. All right, Los Angeles, Calgary. We've got LA minus 150 road favorites, 6 the total here in this one. Of course, for LA, there's the potential where they could finish in a bunch of different spots when it's all said and done. They could finish still second in the Pacific and have home ice. They could finish third in the Pacific. They could drop to the wild card too, just like the other 2 teams, and face Colorado in the first round, depending on how things shake out here tonight in this matchup. So there is still something to play for here for LA, but as you guys know, LA is not a team I trust on a night-in, night-out basis. Certainly not a team I'm looking to lay a $150 with on the road right now. Against a Calgary team that at home, this goes back to their previous homestand, where they played well, notched some wins, took Anaheim to overtime, but had wins against Tampa, Florida, St. Louis on that homestand, crushed Vancouver on that previous homestand. They then went on the road and struggled, but then they come back home. They beat Utah 4-1, and all things considered, competitive with Colorado the other night, 3-1. So, you know, they're still playing with some gusto down the stretch here, Calgary. So even though LA is got something on the line here, you know, I could see Calgary giving them a battle. Anton Forsberg, obviously, back in net for the LA Kings. Predictably, the struggling Darcy Kemper gets the start against Vancouver, and predictably, they lose that game. It has been a rough go for Darcy Kemper. And look who is making the start here for Calgary. They're resting Dustin Wolf. I don't think they really wanted to start him tonight in the final game, give him a rest. And Devin Cooley is unavailable for the Calgary Flames tonight due to an illness. So called up from the Calgary Wranglers. This is a guy that played at Penn State as a goaltender in U.S. college hockey. And I remember when Penn State got to it was the Frozen Four. I believe they got all the way to the Frozen Four last year in the college hockey tournament. This guy was the backbone for their run that deep into the college hockey tournament. Arseny Sergeyev, who is going to get the start here tonight for the Calgary Flames. I remember seeing Sergeyev playing at Penn State. Really, really solid goaltender. Really good. Now, at the professional level, we'll see, but it will be his NHL debut here tonight for the Calgary Flames. Good college goalie. Let me see if I can bring up his Wranglers numbers at the AHL level. But actually, he's played in the ECHL a little bit too, so he's been going back and forth with the Wranglers. 3.29 goals against average, despite the debut. Now that because of this is out of circumstance here that he's starting. I think all things considered, he wouldn't even be in the net if Cooley was not battling this illness. His numbers aren't that spectacular with the Wranglers, in particular, 3.29 goals against average entering tonight. But yeah, he needs more time down in the minors. But this is a circumstantial opportunity for him out of necessity because Wolf's not going to play and Cooley's got the illness. So that's why Sergeyev is going to get this opportunity, even though he may not quite be ready for it. As far as the Calgary Flames side of things, like I said, they've still got, everybody that's out looks to be an injury or an illness for the most part. So we'll see how it plays out for this game. But I like the draw. That's definitely what I like first and foremost here in this one is the draw. This is the other draw I like on this card. It makes sense to me. I think we could see still a competitive effort. I'm a little leery of what we're going to get from Sergeyev, but I could see Calgary trying to, play a little bit better defensively for one night to help this kid out. We'll see. Not to mention we do have some draw history with Kings versus Flames. 2 of the last 3 meetings have gone past regulation. One thing I want to point out, and I don't know if I've got the balls to take Calgary as a home underdog here, considering what's on the line for LA, and Forsberg has been playing very well in net. But this has been a house of horrors for the LA Kings. The Calgary Flames have won 5 in a row here at the Saddledome over the LA Kings. Flames are 5-0 the last 5 times that they have hosted the LA Kings. This has not been a good place for the 7 straight, says Jonathan. I'm just going back, seeing the last 5. It's actually 7 in a row they've lost here in Calgary. You know what? Fuck it. Last night of the season, all my bets are very small bets anyway, very low units, very light, light exposure tonight, if you will, with the NHL card, very much like it was last night. We lowered the unit amounts last night. We're doing that again tonight. Because of that, why not? I'll get in for a little pizza bet here. Calgary at upwards of plus 135, is what I'm seeing here in this game. I mean, it's just it would be Flames, or it would be so Kings to lose this game. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is Forsberg's been dialed in. He's been really, really good. If he plays well again, I think the Kings probably have a good shot to win this game. But we're talking about, the Kings never making it easy on themselves. They were up 3-0 in Seattle a couple nights ago, and that game got to 3-2 in the third period. So, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if the LA Kings have to work for this one. So give me a little shot with Calgary, the draw in particular, like in that. As far as goal props here with the Kings and the Flames, Laferriere goals in back-to-back games, sign me up. The red-hot Quentin Byfield goals in back-to-back games for the Kings, sign me up. Adrian Kempe's price isn't great enough for me to bet it, but he's scored in back-to-back games, 3 of the last 5, 7 of the last 10. He has been absolutely tremendous. He's been one of the catalysts for getting LA to this point where they've not only clinched a playoff spot, but also, a chance now to maybe move up to as high as 2nd in the Pacific if things break right. So no argument there as far as any of those props on the Kings side of the equation. I think for Calgary, when I look at for them, their lineup tonight, it's going to really dictate who I go with. But, Coleman, Farabee, Backlund, Coleman, Farabee on the top line, that Gridden, Frost, and Coronado line, I think could have a chance maybe to make an impact here. They've had some good chemistry together. So those would be some of the props I'd be looking at in that one. All right, next up, last game for this show, last regular season game that we will talk about for this NHL season. Colorado hosting Seattle. We've got Colorado minus 180, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Colorado, give them credit, because other than an overtime loss to the Vegas Golden Knights, we haven't seen this, just go into the playoffs with a whimper and not play these games to win. They have still found ways to win down the stretch here, the Colorado Avalanche. They beat Calgary on the road. We saw them. They had the one loss to Vegas, but they beat Calgary at home last week. And they beat Edmonton, when Edmonton still had quite a bit to play for on that road trip as well. So we got to give the Avalanche some credit for that, to be 4-1 in the last 5 games when really these games started to not matter so much after locking up first in the Central Division and the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. You got to give them credit. That's a pretty solid job that they've done here in this particular, finishing stretch of the season with not much to play for. Seattle, there's no chance I'm backing them. It's a team that I thought actually gave a pretty solid effort. You could tell they were competing last night against Vegas. There was a little inkling of wanting to play spoiler and not let the Golden Knights clinch the Pacific on their watch. They got the first goal, but after that, Vegas kind of wore them down and got the 4 unanswered goals to get the 4-1 victory. I have no idea what they're going to do for goaltending here because Grubauer and Decord are still day-to-day. I don't think they're all that excited about starting them. Nikkei Coco started last night for the Seattle Kraken in Vegas. So you could be looking at Victor Ostman. Victor Ostman is probably actually how you say it. Victor Ostman might be someone that might be starting here for the Seattle Kraken because they called him up from the AHL. He's got a 2.77 goals against, 907 save percentage in 35 games down there last with the AHL club. He did have an NHL appearance last year for Seattle, last April. He stopped all 12 shots, but it was in a relief effort against Utah. So it could be Victor Ostman. It could be Nikkei Coco, but I think it's probably going to be one of those two, not Grubauer or Decord in net for Seattle. Scott Wedgwood is confirmed in net for the Avalanche, most likely the Game 1 starter for them. Last game, Brock Nelson was out due to maintenance. Devon Taves was out due to maintenance as well Tuesday night when they played Calgary. I think they're both going to be back in here in this one, in this home finale. I think so. I haven't seen any mentioned yet that Colorado's sitting people tonight, even though, again, there's not much on the line. So as of now, I haven't seen anybody really. Actually, McKinnon's out. McKinnon, Kadri are out. Natchez is out. There you go. All right. Just came in, actually. I had to refresh my screen. But yeah, now I'm seeing it. Kadri's out. McKinnon's out. Well, Kadri's been out for a while, but McKinnon's out. And it looks like Manson, of course, has been banged up down the stretch. He's out. And Marty Natchez for the Colorado Avalanche is out as well. Rest for Natchez and rest for Nathan McKinnon as well. So those are the main ones as of right now that are out for the Colorado Avalanche. Natchez and McKinnon. Manson, of course, has been banged up, so that makes sense. Yeah, this is one where, like, as you can clearly tell, I don't have much here. You could maybe go with what you could do is, and what I might do rather than jump in pregame in this one, just because it's the last game of the season, late at night at 10 p.m. Eastern. The team total for Colorado is over 3, and I might get in on that, over 3.5 for Colorado team total. Just a little sprinkle on that. It's even money. It's a pretty decent price, all things considered. Now, there is no McKinnon, but you look at this Seattle team. They gave up 4 last night to Vegas. They gave up 5 to L.A. The last couple of games, and they've done it. They've made a habit of giving up 4 or more goals to the opponent lately. You go back to April 2nd, and this month alone, they've played 8 games, the Seattle Kraken, and they have given up 4 goals or more to their opponent in 6 of those 8 games here in the month of April. So you could definitely take a shot here that the team total over might be worth a look. The one thing you might want to do too is, because Colorado there could be some element of Colorado, especially if they jump out quickly, sitting on the lead. You could dabble it and split between full game team total and first period team total. BetMGM's got those half goal increments. You could go with over 1 or over 1.5 in the first period team total with Colorado, and split it with the full game, just in case maybe they go up 2-1, 3-1, 2-0, 3-0, and kind of sit on the lead a little bit rather than go, wear themselves out trying to score more goals. So something to consider. As far as goal props here for Seattle and Colorado, keep an eye obviously on the lineup situation here for Colorado, because there's going to be certainly some tweaks, some changes with McKinnon sitting. But right now it looks like I'm seeing Nelson up on the top line with Nichushkin and Lehkonen. So Brock Nelson's got to be at or near the top of the list for prop considerations for Colorado. This could be a Parker Kelly night again. We cannot quit Parker Kelly. Not yet, especially if he's going to play with Nick Waugh and Ross Colton on the second line tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. So Parker Kelly, it might be one of those nights to look in his direction one more time. As far as a goal prop tonight in this game, you could say the same about Colton here for the Colorado Avalanche. For Seattle, it's probably Bobby McMahon. Who else? That's probably worth looking at as far as a goal prop for the Kraken here in this game. He's been absolutely magnificent, of course, of late. So that would be the goal props of interest for me when it comes to the final game of the NHL regular season, Seattle and Colorado. Great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We have made it through the regular season. When you look back on it and you really think about it, it's hard to believe it always goes by so quickly. It felt still like just, a couple of weeks ago, maybe we were starting the regular season in October. And now here we are, the end of the regular season and the Stanley Cup playoffs about to begin. Reminder, tomorrow on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, our Ice Guys Stanley Cup playoffs preview show. Cannot wait to talk every first round series bets, series player props. There's just a ton of picks we're going to be giving you for the overall series when it comes to tomorrow's show. And, of course, then starting Saturday, we'll be doing the game-by-game previews of every series, as we always do, sides, totals, player props here on the show. So still lots of hockey left, and the best hockey is yet left and yet to come. WizardSportsPicks.com. Check it out. Daily premium picks, long-term subscriptions available. Number 1 ranked in the NHL on the website. Also having a profitable NBA season as well. So make sure you check it out, WizardSportsPicks.com. Patreon.com/IceGuys, just $10 per month. We will have at least 2 Patreon-exclusive live betcasts during the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. More than likely, we're going to have one next week and one the following week, early in the week before the month of April comes to an end. So make sure you get on board for that. The playoff betcasts are going to be a lot of fun. Most of them will be on Patreon exclusively for our members. So get on board. Totals charts, goalie charts, sides, totals, player props, and the betting card posted each and every day on the Patreon page. We'll also have our series bets posted sometime on Friday on the Patreon page for the first round. So make sure you get on board. $10 per month. My Dub Club subscription discount offer is still available too. I decided I'm going to keep that going, keep that available, because we always have new Patreon members signing up, on a daily basis. Make that membership still available so they could get in on it too. It's $50 off for an all sports Dub Club subscription. With me, you'll get every bet in every sport that I make. It's not just, and you'll find out, I'm not just an NHL guy. We got MLB going, NBA playoffs, United Football League, UFL. UFL was tremendous last week, and I like the card a lot this week. That's there at Dub Club. $50 off a 1-month Dub Club all sports subscription. The normal price is $75. That special offer for Patreon members gives it to you for $25 for 1 month of all sports. You can't beat that, especially for as high volume as I am. So make sure you take a look at that, especially if you're a new Patreon member. $25 for 1 month all sports at Dub Club, which is $50 off the regular $75 price. So make sure you check that out. All that and more. Again, your membership at Patreon goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. Check it out. $10 per month over at patreon.com/IceGuys. And of course, the Ice Guys store. Check it out. Get your gear and your merch over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Good point by Jonathan there with Capo Caco's had some success against Wedgwood. 4 goals on 9 shots. Pretty good numbers. You can get as high as plus 775 with Capo Caco there for Seattle. who's obviously found the back of the net multiple times in the past against Scott Wedgwood. We'll see if he's able to have that success one more time here tonight. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bet coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
All right, bargain bin special of the night. Last bargain bin special of the night segment for the NHL regular season. And we'll try to make it count. Man, we made it count last night. I gave you a bargain bin with Cole Reinhardt for Florida. Alex gave you Nick Lardis for Chicago. And we will see if we can add to it here tonight. Alex passed along his card. He only gave me one. He's only on 2 bets tonight. He gave me a best bet, and he gave me a bargain bin special. And they're from the same game. Anaheim, Nashville. Alex B. Smith, bargain bin special of the night. He's going to go with Ryan Poehling for the Anaheim Ducks. Ryan Poehling for the Anaheim Ducks, plus 550 for him to find the back of the net. That's the price he listed. Let me see if there's something better out there right now. But from what I see, based on the current line, combinations, Ryan Poehling could move up the lineup tonight. We'll see. I'm not totally sold on that bet or sure of that, but nevertheless, Ryan Poehling for Alex with his bargain bin special of the night for the Anaheim Ducks. And let me see what the best price is out there right now at this moment. Yeah, plus 550 for Ryan Poehling for the Anaheim Ducks for bargain bin special of the night. My bargain bin special of the night, and I'm only going with one tonight. Normally I give you 2, but just one for me tonight. And we're going to go to the first game we talked about, St. Louis, Utah. It's Pavel Buchnevich, plus 340, the best price out there for Pavel Buchnevich. Not only goals in back-to-back games, but looking to get a milestone here tonight with one more goal as well. Pavel Buchnevich, plus 340 for the St. Louis Blues for my one and only bargain bin special of the night for this Thursday slate. That's very kind, Mark. That ship has sailed. Believe me, I actually was thinking of broadcasting about 30 years ago in my life, 20 years ago. But this was the next best thing, I guess, doing YouTube shows, doing YouTube content. But appreciate that. Very kind to say that. I actually do some pseudo play-by-play. You guys have seen it on the Betcast. All of a sudden, I'll just I'll turn into a turn into a play-by-play man all of a sudden during one of the Betcasts. So appreciate that, though. Hope I'm glad the voice doesn't make people leave the show or not want to tune in. So appreciate the kind words. All right, best bets. Alex, we'll start with his best bet. Anaheim he trusts Anaheim a lot more than I do, but he is going to trust the Anaheim Ducks to get the job done and take care of business here tonight. Alex is going with Anaheim in regulation, plus 130. Anaheim in regulation, plus 130 against Nashville for Alex B. Smith with his best bet for this Thursday NHL slate. My best bet, to be honest with you, this was a struggle for me to find a best bet. And as you can tell, these late season games, they're not easy to whittle down to a best bet. But I'm going to go with Vancouver, goal in the first period, minus 118 against the Edmonton Oilers. They've been playing spoiler all of a sudden with these 3 straight wins against the California teams, beating San Jose and Anaheim on the road, coming back home and beating LA the other night. They've been a machine at scoring in the opening 20 minutes of late. And I think they have a good chance here to also pot a goal in the opening 20 in Edmonton. I know Edmonton's still playing for home ice, but I think Vancouver will come out with that effort early, and I will go with them to get on the board in the first period. Vancouver Canucks, goal in the first period, -118 for my best bet here for this final night of the regular season in the NHL. That's a wrap. Regular season over. Stanley Cup playoffs are on the horizon next up, and it is time to talk about the good stuff. Tomorrow, Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Stanley Cup playoff preview show. Cannot wait. Excited about that. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the final night of the NHL regular season. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you tomorrow on Friday for the Stanley Cup playoff preview edition of the Ice Guys.